Alright, welcome back everyone. My name is still Okechukwu Joshua Otazi, and today friends I'm going to be continuing where I stopped the last time. And I told you the last time that I'm going to be skipping lots of tools here in Photoshop, and because some of the tools are not relevant as it relates to being a graphics designer. It's not that they are not relevant per se, but then they have different functions. Sometimes some of the tools are for photo editing, and if you want to do photo editing, please do check out some of the other tools. But if there's a tool I'm skipping that you want us to touch, you can always highlight it in the comments below, and I'm going to read the comments, and then I'm going to show you how to use that tool in Photoshop. Alright, so but for now, if we say we should just keep discussing the tools, our tutorial is going to keep getting boring. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is just to show you some of the most relevant tools that you're going to be using frequently in Photoshop. Right, they are the commonly used tools. Now let me just quickly tell you some of the commonly used tools in Photoshop. Now the first is the move tool. Then we have the marquee tool, rectangular marquee tool. Then in this section we have the polygonal lasso tool, and then the magnetic lasso tool. These are also frequently used too. Then we have the eyedropper tool, and we don't really use this particular section of the tool. Then we have the eraser tool, right? Then we have the gradient tool. We have the text tool, zoom tool, rectangular tool, selection, and pen tool. Alright, so friends, at this juncture right now, I'm going to just be teaching you about the background eraser tool, this particular tool right here. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be teaching you in Photoshop right now. Alright, so I just click on the particular tool without wasting much of your time, and then if I left click and hold, you can see what we have over here. We have eraser tool, we have background eraser tool, we have magic eraser tool. Alright, so let me start with the eraser tool. Alright, so friends, if I just click on the eraser tool and then I left click, alright, and then I just keep going round. Now let me quickly show you something. I need to unlock my background, so let me quickly unlock the background of this. So I just double tap on this image and then click on OK. Now the background gets unlocked. You can see we don't have the padlock over here anymore. Alright, so I'm just going to click on the eraser tool, and now if I click over here, you can see the background is going out. Alright, so the background is going out. Now when you see this crispy line black white, just is what it's telling you in Photoshop is that your background is transparent. Right, when I move this image to another image, you're not going to see that background. Right, so I just go over it and clean the background. I can just go over it as long as I want to. Right, so I can just go round about it and remove the background. Alright, so friends, that's how we use this eraser tool. Alright, so the eraser tool can help you clean out the background. Alright, so the eraser tool can do a great job in helping you clean out the background in a particular image, and then just take out the element outside of it. Alright, now something I want to let you know, and I've said this before, whenever you click on a particular tool, something happens on this edit menu over here, this particular section, this bar over here. Alright, so this bars over here is going to change. Alright, whenever I click on a tool, right, it's going to change, giving us options. So every tool has an option. You can always make changes on a particular tool before applying it on your design. Alright, so you can see over there the options, they are changing. Alright, so that's just to let you know that whenever you click on a tool, you have lots of options. For example, in this section right now, I can reduce the flow. Alright, so I can reduce the flow, and that's going to minimize the effect that this particular tool has on our design. Alright, so I can do lots of other things and just change the opacity and do some other things that I want to do. Alright, so but friends, just so you know, that's how we I can even change the size right here. Right, if I just come over here, I can change the size and hardness. So just drop down over here. You can change the hardness, you can change the size. Alright, so you can edit the tool before applying it. Alright, so that's the eraser tool. Alright, the eraser tool helps you remove background. Alright, so the next something else we're going to talk about right now is the background eraser tool. Alright, so the background eraser tool, I'm just going to click on this background eraser tool. Now in this background eraser tool, what happens is you can see as I click over here, I can left click and then go around my design. Alright friends, I can click and go around my design. You can see right now that I'm not cleaning out the black section. Right, so what is happening is that the color in the background, in this background here, is white. Right, so this particular background color is white, and that's why when I'm going around the design, I'm only taking out the white section. I'm not taking out what is on top of it. All right, so another thing I could have done is just to click on this. Now what happens if I say the background is now black? and now make this background black, and now I'm cleaning this. Now you can see what is happening over here. You can see what's happening over here. This background eraser tool now is now seeing black as the background, and so it is taking out black. Are you getting what's going on? Right, so it's removing black because it's seeing black as the background. The reason why it's called the background eraser tool is that you have to sample what the background is for it to work. Right, so for this case now, our background is white, so I need to make the background color white. And so now that the background color is white, if I click on this, if I'm using my background eraser tool and I'm just going around about it, I won't be able to take out anything black or any other color. I will only be able to clean out everything that is white. Even this element, I can clean it out so long as it is white. All right, so let me just quickly zoom so you see what I'm doing over here. All right, you can see I'm taking it out. I can use the background eraser tool to clean it out. All right, so friends, with the background eraser tool, you just need to tell Photoshop what the background is, and if Photoshop can detect what the background is, it's just going to automatically clean the background out for you. All right, so friends, that's basically how the background eraser tool works here in Photoshop. Alright, so friends, the next thing I want to show you right now is going to be about the magic eraser tool. Now, the magic eraser tool is very much awesome, which is one of the tools you are going to be using frequently in this section. Alright, so the magic eraser tool is one of the most frequently used tools that I use a lot, right, in cutting out background. Alright, so if I just click on the white section, you can see the whole white background gets off. The whole white background goes away. Alright, so when you have plain background, friends, you want to use this magic eraser tool. It's very much magical, trust me. Alright, so if I just click on this white here, everything that is white goes away. Alright, you can see everything that is white goes away. Alright, let me bring it back. If I click on yellow, everything that is yellow here goes away. Alright, so that's why the magic eraser tool is very much important. Alright, so the magic eraser tool, if you have a plain background and you don't want to waste much of your time, you can just use the magic eraser tool to remove sections or remove background from your images. Alright, you can just click on this white over here and it goes away. You can see over here it goes away. This white, it goes away, it becomes transparent. Alright, that's basically how it does. Alright, so if I click on this, the whole background is now transparent. Alright, so friends, that's just to let you know that the magic eraser tool is very much important if you're going to be a good designer. Alright, so friends, that's just a quick tip to let you know how the magic eraser tool work. And trust me, it may not make sense right now, some of these tools we are teaching you, alright, but as we start doing the projects and start doing designs and start giving you homeworks and all of that, trust me, you're going to get familiar with the tools and you are going to enjoy using lots of these tools. Alright, so friends, the first thing you have to know in this section right now is that the magic eraser tool is the most frequently used tool in this eraser section, right, followed by the background eraser tool. I rarely use the eraser tool. Right, so these are the two tools I use in this particular section, and I've already shown you how you can use the two tools. Alright, so friends, the next thing I'm going to be showing you right now is going to be the gradient tool. So let me just quickly come over to this new document we've created over here. No, I don't need that. Alright, so I created a new document in Photoshop. You can just come to File, New, and create yours. Alright, so I'm going to click on the gradient tool, left click and hold it. Alright, now you can see over here, friends, I have the gradient tool, I have paint bucket, I have 3D drop tool. Alright, so what I'm going to be teaching you right now is going to be just the gradient tool and the paint bucket. Alright, so friends, at this juncture right now, I told you that when you click on a particular tool, you are going to see lots of options over here. Alright, so there are different ways, there are different gradients here. I could use the linear gradient, I could use the radial gradient, I could use the angle gradient, I could use the reflect diamond gradient, and lots of other gradients option here. But by default, Excel is going to pick the linear gradient for you. Alright, so I can click on this drop down to look at the various gradients color. Now, what do we mean by gradient color? Now, gradient color is just a combination of two colors, right? Either a combination of two different colors or a combination of a color and a transparent background. Alright, so that's basically what the gradient tool is doing for you here in Photoshop. So let me just pick this particular one. Alright, so I think I like that. Alright, so what I need to do right now is just to come over here and fill this particular color with this which I've picked. Alright, so you can see that we are using the gradient tool right now to fill this particular design. Alright, so I can what I did was I clicked and then I still holding my left mouse button, I just dragged up and you can see gradient. I can come from this other section like this, you can see it. I can come from this other section like this and you can see it. Alright, so friends, that's how it works in Photoshop. Alright, so that's how we use the gradient tool here in Photoshop. Alright, so for the paint bucket, you can also use the paint bucket. Let me just quickly show you something real quick. Let's say this is a rectangle colored black, and this is colored white, and maybe another rectangle. Maybe this time around, let me just give it a color, whatever. Alright, don't bother about what I'm doing right now. Just follow what I'm showing you. Alright, so let's just say we have something like this. Alright, so what I did was I created a rectangle. I gave it a color black. Created another rectangle, gave it this particular color, and let me go over it again so you see what I just did right now. So I clicked on this particular rectangle and dragged it. Now when I drag it, you can see where you see fill over here. You can choose whatever color from this section. When you draw a rectangle, you must see fill and stroke. So you can fill it with a color, you can give it a stroke of a particular color. So I just clicked on this drop down, and this time around it's black, so I left it as black. Then I created another rectangle, and it's still black. I don't want it to be black anymore. So I click on this drop down, and then I clicked on this color. Alright, so that's basically what I want to do right now. But I want to show you, that's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is how to use the paint bucket. Alright, so now that you know how to use the gradient tool, friends, the next thing is to know how to use the paint bucket. Alright, in this paint bucket, if I just click on this paint bucket and then I come over here. Now, if you look at your designs here, friends, you can see that there is a little squared box on this section of the rectangle. It's telling you that this rectangle has not been rasterized. It has not been rasterized, so there's little I can do over here with my paint bucket. Right, there's very much little I can do over here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to right click on this. I've shown you how to rasterize your image. If I rasterize this image, what happens? This small rectangle goes away. That's how to know that your image has been rasterized. So if I just right click over here and click on rasterize image, you can see over here that small rectangle goes away. This has not been rasterized, but this has been rasterized. Alright, so I'm just going to click on this paint bucket again, and then if I come to this rectangle that has been rasterized, if I click over here, you can see it fills it with this particular foreground color. Right, it fills it with the foreground color. So whatever this foreground color is what gets filled up. Right, so at this juncture right now, friends, for example, if I have multiple rectangles, or maybe another rectangle like this, maybe a different color, yeah, maybe something like this, and let's say I use this eyedropper tool, which I've already shown you to sample a particular color. I just click on this, and then I click on this particular tool. You can see I've sampled this color, and the color is over here. I can click here with the eyedropper tool, and the color changes. All right, so let me work with this. All right, now having changed the color of the foreground, I can click on this paint bucket, and I can give this particular color to this other rectangle. All right, so now that I've clicked on this paint bucket too, now I have to come to my layer and make sure my layer is selected. The layer I want to give the color is this, not this one, right? Because it was highlighted over here. You have to come to this and drop and click on this, and then you come over here and click with your paint bucket. Right? You can see that they become similar colors on the two rectangles. Become similar colors here in Photoshop. All right, so friends, that's how we use the paint bucket tool. All right, so what the paint bucket is doing basically is that once you pick the paint bucket and you click on an object here in Photoshop, it's going to take that foreground color, whatever the foreground color is, and it's going to paint that object with that foreground color. It's going to fill that object with that foreground color. All right, so friends, that's basically how you use the paint bucket here in Photoshop. All right, so friends, that's basically how we work with the paint bucket tool and then the gradient tool here in Photoshop. All right, so friends, without wasting much of your time, I'd like you to practice what you've learned. Thank you so much.